Hi everybody, how you doing? It's been a while since I've been on, and this time it's because I'm just not sure what I'm doing with my page anymore. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be going in a different direction. I don't have any idea what that means yet. I'm still working out the details of that with the divine, so bear with me. I have been trying to still post things that might be relevant and useful for you, so I hope that's been helpful. But it may be a minute before you see me again while I try to figure out the rest of this stuff. But I did want to come on today because of the huge energy that we're experiencing right now, and I've had a lot of questions about it from people about what is going on, what is happening with my body, what's happening with my brain, like what is happening right now. And it is because of this tremendous energy we're in right now. And, we have that new moon in Pisces that happened earlier this morning. And you know what? I'm not an astrologer. I am not. But I will tell you, based on my experience, it always lines up with what's happening energetically. And I would be having the same message to you, whether I knew about the new moon in Pisces or not, because the energy is just what it is. And right now we are in this tremendously beautiful, transformative energy that is happening right now, that's available to all of us, regardless of whether or not you believe in astrology or whether or not you understand spiritual things or how much consciousness you have around all of this or not. Doesn't really matter. The energy is still the same. And so you may be having some of the same physical impacts and mental impacts that the people who do understand this stuff are going through. And I want to come on and talk about that a little bit. This energy right now, this is said to be a strongest, most impactful new moon of the year. And that makes sense to me because it feels really huge. And this energy is very transformative. It is a reaping energy, meaning whatever seeds you've been sowing, that is what you are going to reap tenfold right now. Tenfold right now. And I will tell you, you could call it a karmic energy. You could say that too. And I talk about karma. I've talked about this before, where people tend to think that karma is like, oh, they're going to get their karma. They're going to get paid back. I mean, once you reach a certain space in your life, you no longer, you'd rather that people just get it so that they don't even have to reap anything like that. So you're not sitting around rejoicing in somebody's karma generally, as far as them getting something back. But karma is just to learn. That's all it is. Like, we all miss the mark. Sometimes we all miss it. We miss it. And what makes the difference is where your heart is at. How that comes back to you really depends on where your heart is at. Because if you make a mistake and your heart's in the right place, you're going to pay you're going to pay the piper for that. You absolutely are, because you can't plant weeds and grow roses. It just doesn't. Once the weeds are planted, you can't plant roses and grow weeds. So it all depends on what you're planting. But I will say what's beautiful about the divine and things from an energetic perspective is if you realize that you've been planting weeds and you decide to turn around and your heart is changed and you decide to plant roses instead, then your harvest will still be different. It won't be all weeds. It'll come back differently because your heart changed, which was the whole point of the karma in the first place. So if your heart changes in the process, then the reaping doesn't need to be the same anymore because you've already learned the lesson. So it doesn't need to be that. But if people are out here deliberately planting seeds of weeds and they're planting dissension and deceit and all of that, it's not, ooh, you're going to get yours. That's what you're planting. So that's what you're going to get back because that's what you're planting. So at any time you can stop that and decide to plant something else. So there is a large amount of energy around that. So I want to be honest with you and tell you, plant roses, please, or hopefully you have been, because honestly, whatever you planted up to now this season, it's coming out. It's coming out in a really, really big way. But at any time, you can go back and correct that. So I want to give you both sides of that coin, but I will tell you, for those of us who have been doing the work, who have been working to make sure that we are our best versions of ourselves, you are in for some beautiful things coming your way very soon here. And it's not just this new moon. This is setting a precedent for the eclipses that are coming up as well. And this is all about the Aries North Node, which is about you really coming into the trueness of who you are, individuation. On its most basic level, it's about understanding who you are fundamentally and learning how to walk in that powerfully and getting away from that Libra, the Libra and South Node. South Node is where we're going from, I'll remind you. North Node is where we're headed towards, and this is a collective energy right now. So all of us have a North Node in Aries and a South Node in Libra right now. Individually, you have your own North and South nodes, and it's good for you to know what those are so you can know what the impacts of this new moon energy and the North and South nodes, what that means for you at a deeper level. But fundamentally, for all of us, it's about us all coming into a more accurate knowledge of who we are and individuating into that and moving out of those more codependent Libra types of energies that can sometimes say they're concerned with others, but really that codependent energy is not concerned with others. It seems like it is, right? It's like I abandon myself for their sake. But the truth is, more often than not, if you're engaging in a codependent behavior, your concern was not the other person. Your concern was the uncomfortability that you feel as a result of whatever that other person is going through. So if you can alleviate your own discomfort, then you're going to feel better. And sometimes for you, that means trying to alleviate their discomfort so you can feel better. And that really is what codependency is. No judgment there. It's just that I'm telling you what it really actually is so that you can hopefully deal with that if that's something that you are still going through. And this energy right now, as we've got that Aries North Node in operation and the eclipse is coming up and this new moon, is a good time to work through a lot of that. And that's just one thing. There's a ton of things that we're working through right now in our heart space. So you may be feeling some heart stuff. You may be feeling some heartaches. You may be feeling some heart palpitations. You may be feeling an expansion in the heart. Now, I want to say this. Not everything is metaphysical. Some things are actual physical things. So I always recommend that you get checked out. If you're having any physical symptoms, go see your doctor so you can make sure that there's not something wrong, because you could be having flu-like symptoms. You may actually have the flu or some other sickness. I had shingles last week, but I understood that that was part of this expansive process because of some things that I was processing and trying to move through. So you may be having symptoms like that, but just go to the doctor, get it checked out, whether it's an actual flu or whether they're just flu symptoms. It could be related to what's happening energetically right now. You may be feeling some stuff in your abdominal area, some digestive issues, or just a lot of churning happening down there, or pains even in that area. You might be feeling that. You may be having migraines, a lot of headaches right now happening right now. You could be having brain fog. You could be having tremors. You could be having disruptions in your sleep pattern. You can be extra tired or extra hyper. You might be anxious and shaky right now. There's so many things because of this tremendous energy that you may be experiencing right now that could be a part of this. So if you're having some physical things that are happening that are a little unusual, like I said, have it checked out. Make sure there's not something actually going on that needs to be treated. If there's not, then it probably is just that your body is just sort of having a difficult time calibrating to this wonderful, expansive new energy that we collectively are walking into. And I just want to encourage you to go with it. Like, you need to rest. You may be feeling like hermiting. You may be feeling like really withdrawing into yourself. That's your spirit trying to tell you, hey, we need your attention right now, because they're trying to help you get this upgrade. They're trying to help you get a deeper revelation of who you are and how you want to show up in the world. So pay attention to that. Journaling right now. You may feel a deep urge to avoid all of this with alcohol, with doom scrolling, with Netflix, with binge watching, with seeking outside, just trying to rapidly have these conversations with people, like you call somebody and you're like, blah, 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 and you're like, why am I talking so much? It's because you're trying to distract yourself from what's happening with you internally. You could be working out more. Sometimes our brain's tricky. It has really effective ways of causing us to avoid, what the spirit is trying to do, because the brain wants you to stay separate. And this energy right now is a unified energy. It is an energy of oneness, of us coming into a deeper knowledge of the fact that we are all expressions of one. We are expressions of one. And so your mind doesn't want you to grasp that. So it will find all kinds of ways, because your mind thinks that if you dissolve into the oneness of all things, you will disappear. Yeah, this is what your mind thinks, and that's what it's going to try to keep you from moving into that space. But that's not true. It's not true at all. I know from experience, it's absolutely not true. I don't know if I want to talk to you about my experience with coming into this knowledge and fullness of the oneness that we all are. Actually, I will. It's going to make the video a little bit longer, but hopefully you'll bear with me. So this happened for me in 2020. And I had a conceptual understanding of this. 2020, right? The most divisive year I think that I can remember in my life. And in the midst of all of that, while I was trying to figure out how I fit into this energy, I had this beautiful experience that actually was birthed out of the worst heartbreak I think I've ever had. And it was just this beautiful thing that happened. My heart was so broken. No, it wasn't broken, it was shattered. Like, it was just like it exploded. It literally felt like my heart exploded, like it was raised, like when they raise a building and just like poof. But it felt like my entire heart just sort of disintegrated into the ethers, like all of it. Like, I felt this vacancy there. It was beautiful. Sounds crazy. It wouldn't sound beautiful probably, but it was. I felt this vacancy where my heart space was. And I knew that the elements of whatever my heart was made of had sort of like melded into everything. And in an instant, I just knew, oh, we're all one. Like, we're one, and this person, I'll never see them again, but I'll never be apart from them either, because we're all one. Like, we're all the same stuff. So we are all individual expressions of that oneness, which when you grasp and you get it, it's so beautiful, and it allows you to look at life so differently. And that's the energy that's trying to manifest for us right now. You have an opportunity to be able to experience that in a deeper way, because it never, like, I'm getting an even deeper, I got a deeper revelation of it probably 2 years ago, and then I'm getting a deeper one even now. And so it's just really beautiful that it's just this ongoing process of expansion. Just like the universe is constantly expanding, so are we. We get to be a part of that process. And I want to say one of the benefits of that, once you realize that, everyone's beautiful. You look at everybody and they're all just beautiful. You love people before you meet them. You just love everybody. You love them. That doesn't mean you engage with everybody, because you can't, right? Having a relationship requires certain conditions to be in place. Love is unconditional. Relationships are not. I don't have to be in a relationship for you to love you. I can love you and never talk to you again, because I understand that love is what I am. It's not something I do. So love is just a part of what my existence is all about. And once you get to that space, you will never envy another individual expression of the divine. You will stand in your own expression and revel in that and see the beauty in your expression. And that allows you to see the beauty in all other expressions without a need to envy it or to judge it. Not that you'll be perfect in that. We're still humans, right? The mind still has its stuff. Like I said, this stuff is an ongoing, expansive process. So don't judge me when you see me judging, because I'm going to do it at some point. I promise you. I do my best not to do that, because when I'm in this space that I'm like in right now, I can't, like, legit can't judge anybody in this space. And I just love everybody. And I tend to live that way anyway. And the people who know me know this. But that same energy is available to all of us right now. And that's what's happening. So your body might be a little resistant. Your mind definitely is going to be resistant. It's going to try to get you to do anything it can to pull you away from stepping into that beautiful, expansive oneness energy. But I want to encourage you to follow it. If your body tells you to rest, rest. If your spirit is calling you to meditate, meditate. That doesn't always have to mean sitting cross-legged. It can mean just sitting with a cup of coffee and looking out the window, or just sitting with a cup of coffee in silence, or just sitting in silence with nothing, or journaling. It can look like that too, or taking a walk in nature, or just around the block and just being with the oneness. I do it dancing, I do it all the time when I'm dancing. When I go out and I'm dancing, and I just can feel the oneness and the connectedness of all beings. And it's just so beautiful. Like, I just can't tell you what a beautiful space that is to reside in. And it's available to you to have that too, at a deeper level right now. I'm going to say this one last thing, and that is, there's this movie, I think it came out in 2020. Samadi is what it's called. Samahdi, I think is how you spell it. I'll put a link to it. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's got 3 parts. And it's a really good time right now, if you've not seen that movie, to watch it. And if you have seen it, this would be a good chance to go watch it again. Because I promise you're probably going to get an even deeper revelation out of it this time than you did the first time. So if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link on the YouTube in the description of this video. It may not make any sense to you whatsoever. And if it doesn't resonate with you, don't try to make it make sense. Don't do that. It's not for you. But if it does, if it resonates with you and you feel like I need to keep watching this, even if it's not making sense, keep with it and see what the universe maybe has in store for you in that regard. At any rate, if you have any more questions, you want to know anything else about what's happening right now, don't hesitate to reach out. Put a question in the comments section or feedback or whatever. I love you, and I hope that things are going well for you. I hope you're reaping all the beautiful, wonderful things that you have coming. In fact, I know you are. I'm excited about the things that are coming. I haven't been this excited about energy and about what's coming my way in quite some time. It's huge, huge, huge. And I know that's true for you too. And, if you have been sowing seeds that maybe you're not proud of, just sow different ones now. That's the beauty of it. You can turn it around anytime you want to. So again, if there's anything I can do to help you on your journey, I love to be of service to others in this respect. It is an honor for me, and it's a sacred thing. So I want to thank anybody who's allowed me to be a part of that process. And I want to say, please have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of the day it is for you. And as always, may you ever live inspired. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.